By the end of this video, you're going to know 3 drills on how to develop more confidence on camera. Now, for those who don't know, my name is Perna. I've generated multi-7 figures from content creation and online coaching. I got 500K on Instagram, over 800K on my other YouTube channel. And this is something that I'm really passionate about because I was terrible on camera. I had no camera presence, no confidence. I was absolutely shitting myself. And I've done a lot of the steps in the right way to come out of the other side and go, cool, this can be taught, this can be learned. If you feel like you're not confident, oh, that's not me, I'm not good on camera. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there absolutely shitting myself in front of a camera to literally being on live television. So I'm still shitting myself, but just a lot less than normal, and no one really knew. So if you like what you see, please subscribe. Actually, do it now. May as well do it now just to show that you're fully committed to this. We're pretty new here, so we appreciate every one of you guys. This is straight out of a workshop I did for the Social Blueprint, where I help fitness coaches grow and monetize their business. And this is all about growing confidence on camera and making the most of it. And just a warning, I was a bit sick here. This was last week in Vietnam. I was a bit sick, so sorry about the sniffles, but I know there's some decent content in here. So hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it.
So a couple fun facts here. Some of you who attended the Blueprint Summit would have seen this photo and know this, that I really sucked at content. And I think this is really worth talking about because I'm very comfortable on camera now. And I remember distinctly like it was yesterday when I was having an anxiety attack because I couldn't talk. And at this point, this particular video was me trying to like make a YouTube video, and I stuffed my words up, and it looked like someone just told me my whole family had died. It was like I was distraught, and I remember feeling that as well. And it's so funny because I'm on the other side of it now, where like I couldn't give a shit when I'm on camera. So it's good that it's not something that you're just born with. Like it really isn't, because I was terrified, and obviously now I'm not, because everyone sucks at content until they don't, and it's simple, but it's very true, right? So like if you feel like you suck at content right now, you can't keep telling yourself that, because there's a world where you're really good at it because you practiced and you did the right things. And there's a world where you're complaining because you feel like you're not naturally gifted with this stuff, right? Some people are naturally good at this and they just don't care. And I envy them. Like I would have loved to have that. I wasn't one of those people. I had to kind of develop it. So the most proven cure is practice. Like without a doubt, and I think it's obvious, right? But like actually internalizing and understanding and going, the version of you that crushes content and it is so comfortable, that version of you is you can get there through practice, right? And it's actually handy to really internalize that and know that, because it's not something that's out of reach, right? So it's definitely a possibility, but the longer you delay practice, the worse it gets. And I think you guys can probably resonate from this as well, is how many times you put something off for so long that, like me training calves, then I look and I go, damn, in the last month I've probably only trained them twice. Like, it doesn't matter how many times it's meant to be in my program. If I only hit him once, I've only hit him once. It's the same deal with this, is that if you guys keep putting this off and keep delaying the practice, you're going to be in a shitty position for a longer time. So with that said, I want to make it easier for you guys too. So I don't want to just say like, just do more, but knowing that you can just do more and it will get better is handy to know. But what we're going to cover today is essentially how to warm up for getting on camera and feeling confident, getting used to your appearance and your tone as well, and how to feel more natural for you, because there's no point in you just copying like someone else and someone else's style when it's not what you want to do, right? And then how to build momentum pretty quickly. So what I would like you guys to try, and it depends on like where you sit on the spectrum of confidence, right? But if you're like really low, I think do all of these. If you're in the middle, maybe do some, do whatever kind of you think will benefit you the most. But there's essentially like 3 drills that you could do every day, and do this every day for 7 days or longer. Do it for longer if you need to. The first drill, talk to the selfie cam, 2 minutes a day. So what you want to do is open up your front camera on your phone and record a 2-minute video just talking about anything. Like don't post it, just talk. And you don't need to post it anywhere, but if you think it's a good video, chuck it on your story if you want. Like, but otherwise, just go into it just knowing it's for your eyes only. It'll take the pressure off, right? And why this will work, and in this like 2 minutes could be about nonsense, right? It's phone out, looking at the lens, and talking to your camera. Now, why it works, it will train you to speak naturally, because something happens as a shift when we pull out a camera, we're looking at a lens, and we start thinking about other things, and we can't actually focus on what we're talking about. And all of a sudden you feel like you have no words and you don't know what to say and you have no information and you've never spoken before in your life. Sometimes that's how it feels. Whereas when you're practicing doing this, you can associate the camera or the lens or whatever, or the phone, with kind of being present and going, okay, what am I focused on? And when I was doing YouTube videos all the time, it's just something I did was I associated the lens of the camera with trying to like be present and think, what's the message I want to send, as opposed to what does my hair look like? Do I sound stupid? Is old mate going to see this? Like those thoughts derail your thinking, as opposed to focusing on the present moment and going like, what do I actually want to say right now, and communicating that. So it'll help you speak more naturally just by practicing uh, speaking coherently, and it will help you to stop judging your own voice. I don't know about you guys, but I hated the sound of my own voice, and it was part of the reason why I didn't want to film, because I didn't want to listen to it and I didn't want to edit it. So you'll get used to that as well, and you'll build reps without pressure. So an easy thing you could do is like film that 2 minutes, right, and then edit it as if it's going to be like a story sequence or anything like that. And you don't have to post it anyway at all. Just edit it so you'll get used to, because even editing is cringy to hear your own voice sometimes. You're like, oh, so that helps too. So film, edit, leave it. So that's the first drill. Drill 2, 30-second rant challenge. This is to uncover your tone and personality. What you want to do is pick a topic you're fired up about. So something that you're pretty passionate about, or at least have a stronger opinion on. It could be fitness related, might not be fitness related. And I want you to record a 30-second rant, like no script, and especially no filter, like absolutely unfiltered. This, if you do this well, this would be a great reel anyway. This would be a great post. I was talking to one of the guys the other day about a hook for his reel, and I said that if you're emotional in your first 5 seconds, like first 3 seconds, that will beat any hook. That will beat any hook imaginable. Because think about it. If you open your phone up and saw somebody fuming at something, you're going to watch it. You're going to see what's going on. You're going to see if they continue to lose their shit and why. If you see someone crying about something, you're going to watch it. Emotion lures people in more than absolutely anything. So rants work really well. I used to like sometimes engineer rants. I'd be like, what can I kind of complain about today? Because people would just dive in on it. So this could be great on a story. It might be really good in a story to get like yourself out there. But if it's not, just do this. Just do this for yourself, right? So why this works? It will get you out of your own head. I mentioned earlier about how when we're this derailed, distracted thinking and trying to talk about something, but then you're focused on being judged and all these other things, you're not present. You're literally in your own head. You're not thinking about what you want to talk about. You're thinking about your fears of being judged, right? And that doesn't make good content. When you're worried about being judged, as opposed to like what you want to say, you're not going to say the right stuff. You're just going to be terrified and you're going to be boring and flat and weird. So doing this, getting really focused on something you're passionate about, will get you out of your own head, and it will allow you to be way more present, because you're less filtered. You don't give a shit. There's no time to think about what you look like or to think about being judged. You're just focused on the task at hand. And as a result, it forces clarity because you're present. And then you can look back at that and go, wow, I do have opinions. I do have thoughts. Like that's actually quite helpful. And then it'll help you find your speaking rhythm. Everyone has a different speaking rhythm, and I think it's handy to realize this. And I did it through a lot of YouTube videos, because I was think about how long I'd need to take to film a YouTube video that's going to be 20, 30 minutes. I'd have about an hour or 2 hours of footage. So an hour of practice for a video, I ended up finding my speaking rhythm through in doing that. So that's the second drill. The third is a mirroring energy exercise. And this is about your presence and delivery by basically copying people's mannerisms. And this can help. And I've done this actually myself a few times, and it has helped a lot. Step one, you have to find a creator you admire. So think about someone who you admire, their confidence, their energy, their charisma, and then watch for a few things. So we're not really worried about what they're saying. It's just how they're saying it. It's tone, speed, emphasis, pauses, facial expression, hand gestures, like all of these things. And then try to mirror those things in your own video. So not the words here. You don't want to copy the words. You just want to copy how they're saying things. So have a think about some people that you know that you think like they speak greatly. They do a lot of good content. It feels similar to what you want to do. Like maybe it's not someone who is just epic and you don't want to do anything like that. Maybe it's someone that you think, I love that style. Like I wish I could be more like that. That's going to work a lot better. And copy it. Literally copy their tonality, the speed, the gestures, and take your own words, your own script, and try it on for size. Take some things. You might take one thing. You might take one thing of like what I do with my hands, and that might be what helps make your reels look way more comfortable and less stiff, right? So that's the third one. And you can record a video like that and then watch it back and see how it feels. Sometimes it feels awkward, but you look at it and you go, oh, that kind of looks natural. So why this works is you absorb performance patterns. Now, when you start to become aware of these things, when you start looking at people's hand gestures and tonality and pauses, it'll start to sink in a lot more as opposed to just being background noise. So you guys will start to actually absorb this internally, even without focusing on it. But just by having that awareness of those things to look out for, you're going to start adopting them automatically. And the more comfortable you get, your voice will actually start sounding less flat. Like you'll be more engaging because the words can only do so much. It's what we do with our body language, our tone. That's what's going to draw people in, as opposed to just like saying the right things and looking like just a half dead body. And you will build camera presence like a muscle. Like it's literally the more reps, the better you're going to get. But only now we're kind of focusing in those reps a little bit more intent, right? This is like us training with better form now than just like ego lifting. That's kind of the vibe here. So a few words on tonality, eye contact, and energy. This photo is actually, I AI'd this the other day. If you guys watch Rick and Morty, there's the toxic and good and bad. I was trying to pitch to Warner Brothers, I want to take this photo, and they let me, so I used it in here as well. Flat delivery is low confidence. So if you say something that is like really flat, it's not believable, right? And as fitness coaches, like that is the last thing we want, is to not be seen as credible, because it's so easy to get information on like ChatGPT or whatever and just spit it out at people. But if you sound flat, like they're not going to believe you and it's not going to come across as authentic, right? So what we want is retention. We want people to actually understand what we're saying, for one, and stick around for the video. That's what we want. So when you deliver things with low confidence, your retention is going to suck no matter how good your information is, because it's not engaging. It doesn't draw people in. It definitely doesn't keep them there. So little thought experiment. Imagine you're on FaceTime with your client, right? Now, imagine you do these things. You don't look at them. You literally don't look at them at all. You don't make eye contact. And you're talking really monotone, and you have no energy. What are they going to think? For one, if you don't look at them, they're going to think you don't care and you're not engaged. If you're really monotone in your talking, they're not going to even really trust what you're saying. And if you have no energy, they're going to be disengaged as well, and they're probably going to look away. So this is what it's like. Like this is what it's like. And sometimes when I've like reviewed some of your content and I've seen how you say stuff, I'm like, there's no way you'd say that to anyone like in that way. It'd be so boring. Like you know, if you're on FaceTime with someone, have a like speak like that at a very worst case scenario. It's going to come across very genuine. So even that is a reminder of going like, if all else fails and you don't want to be animated and you don't want to be so extra, just think, if I was on like FaceTime with someone right now and I want to get a point across and teach them something, how would I be? How would I act? How would my tone look and things like that? So 5 key points. One, maintain eye contact. This sometimes can be tricky when we're looking at our reflection. I'll show you this now. Like if I'm looking at myself like off camera now, that's me looking at the like myself, my reflection, versus me looking at the lens. It's way more engaging looking at the lens. If you want to try this and you're filming with your phone, film one where you're looking at yourself and then film it where you're looking at the lens, and see if it feels more personal looking at the lens, because it's eye contact. Tonality is authority. If you have a authoritative tone, it's going to feel like you're trustworthy, and it's very difficult to achieve that in any other way. So a mini drill for this is like, record a 30-second tip or a 15-second tip. Do that twice. One really flat and boring, and one with exaggerated tone and speed variations. You can do this on different levels. Like sometimes I've exaggerated on purpose just to see the upper limit of what's too much. And often it's like, okay, I can bring it down here, and that's like, okay. But I think most people don't know the limit. They don't know the spectrum, because they're always operating so on such a low end. And explain it like a friend. Again, like what I was talking about earlier, you can have a great tip and you can have really good information, but you deliver it condescending as shit. And it's really painful. Like it's actually painful to watch sometimes, because You guys have great info. I'm not saying you guys in particular, but people have good information, but they explain it in a way that's making the audience feel stupid. And it's not good. Like people don't really like that. Explain it like you're explaining and teaching a friend. When I started YouTube, because I was so nervous, I actually I had a like a friend like persona because I was just so nervous. So I wanted to like get my points across and I wasn't confident in myself. So as a result, this humility actually kind of made me explain things like I was talking to a friend. And as a result, people like they liked it because they felt like they could connect with me, they could relate. I was helping them and I wasn't talking down to them. And I didn't even realize it. But looking back, I can go, okay, I see how I didn't like just shut people down or make them feel like I was talking down to them. I spoke to them at the same level, which I think is really important. And that's why sometimes when in doubt, explain your videos, your value, things like that, as you would a friend, and see how that feels. Body language is a massive energy boost. It is. You can, to basically make these a little bit better for you guys, stand up when filming as opposed to sitting down because you'll be able to project your voice a lot more. And especially like when I'm doing voiceovers, sometimes I do it standing as well because it feel when I want to be a bit more animated. Otherwise, when I'm sitting down, it feels like I'm a bit restricted. And keep your hands visible and use hand gestures for confidence. So as I said, if this feels unnatural, go find someone who has like a natural hand gestures and like just take a few. Just literally take a couple. Sometimes I've even found myself doing the same thing, and then I'll look at the footage and I'll go, shit, you just fucking clapped your hands like a million times. Like do something different. So next time I'll like be conscious. I'll go, I'll make sure I do something different. Uh, Crop out the legs. This is not just a personal preference. I think sometimes just a little bit of cropping out of the legs, it's just a framing thing. It'll feel more personal when you're like, maybe knees up or waist up as a talking head kind of thing, as opposed to being like too far back, unless that's the vibe you're going for. It's a minor one. And smile occasionally as well. Before before you shoot, literally smile before you shoot, just a little bit. And throughout your speaking, smile as well. It it'll relax you and it kind of relaxes the viewer and it shows that this is like fun and you're enjoying what you're doing. And it will remind you that this is not serious. Because we can be delivering value and if you're very serious about it because you want to nail the take, it looks like you're like about to murder someone. So like keep it calm, relax, enjoy it, and try have fun in the process of filming as well, and you'll feel more natural. So some of you will still feel stiff when you're doing this stuff. So what you can do is literally film a reel walking around first, and then create it standing still. And that movement of like doing something and explaining and talking like that, like you're on stage, that will help you loosen up a little bit and then be able to do that a little bit better on camera as well. So the way that you could test this out is one tip sitting down, hands out of frame, like just talking like that. And then one tip standing up, like do the same thing and use your hands and gesture. And this is a lot of practice. Like this stuff is literally practice so you guys can see how it looks on you, not just someone else. And comparatively seeing the difference of what something like hand gestures, standing up, tonality, like what that makes for you. And this is the thing, is that like you guys already do this. This is nothing crazy because you already do this. Think about when like you've had a conversation with someone that you're like could be a family member, like close friends, partner, and you're really pumped up about something and you're talking passionately, no filter, no judgment. Like you guys aren't boring. You're not just gonna stand there and talk like this or be awkward and go, what do I do with my hands? Like you already do this stuff. It's just about getting comfortable enough to do it in front of the camera. That's all it is. So that's why I said in the beginning, the longer you film, the more comfortable you're going to be. But by fast tracking it and trying to use these little cheat codes, it should make it easier. But just remember, like when in doubt, know that you already can do this. You just don't do it in front of the camera. That's all. So I want to take a pause for 2 seconds. What's been most helpful so far, guys, on this? Just drop it in the chat, just so I can see what's resonated, what things are you excited to try or do, maybe something you've realized. Action items, the drills. Yep. Or practicing even not posting. Yep. The rant. Cool. Talk like you're talking to a friend. Awesome. Be extra. Yeah, sometimes being extra is just it's a bit of fun. Crop out the legs. Yep, standing up instead of sitting down. can you guys see now how important the body language and tonality is looking back at your previous reels? Maybe think about your last three and go, damn, what could I have fixed? What did I do that I could have maybe done a bit better? Practicing how to talk. Yeah, calves look massive in this shot. Yeah, they're big. I cropped them out. Yeah, mirroring creators, more energy. Cool. Um, I want to give you guys some mindset reframes to beat cringe, because I think this is like, cringe is the biggest killer of confidence on camera, is when people feel cringe. Like it's pretty much a nightmare. Um, and so, I mean, a few of the beliefs people have is this, like, what if I sound dumb? What if I don't know what I'm talking about? Uh, what will people think? What will this specific person think? What is my coach going to think? What is this guy going to think? Um, Anybody, just give me a nod or a thumbs up if you guys have felt that just before going into a film session. Like, if you ever thought, like, yeah, this guy's really credible. What is he going to think about me giving advice? Like, how many like, you think all this random stuff? Or I hate the way I look or sound on camera. Like, I'm not qualified for this. I don't look good. I wish I looked like someone else. Um, it's it's crazy, because like, these thoughts is usually what goes through people's heads when they're doing this stuff. And you can see, like, how the hell are we supposed to get across quality information when you have those thoughts, just intrusive thoughts, just coming in telling you you suck? It's basically impossible. It's like multitasking. And so it's an interesting thing of, like, is it a mindset issue or a skill issue on dealing with this stuff? And I think it's a mindset issue, because the skill is something that, like, you're never going to be good enough in your own eyes. It's just a mindset thing. It's nothing that's objective. So there's a few reframes that might help. There's a few things that might help, where, cringe is just unfamiliarity. So when things feel like cringy, or you think, oh, I don't know this. This feels weird. Like, it's just unfamiliar. The first time, like, you probably heard, your voice on, I don't know if you guys remember, like, when you set the first voicemail on your phone, like, it was like cringy as. Now you couldn't care about it, because you've heard it and things like that. Like, anything new and unfamiliar feels unnatural, and it feels like a bit of cringe. But the comfort is in repetition, because obviously the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to be. Some people won't like when you guys say you hate the sound of your own voice, right? You think that's an objective truth. Whereas I will hear it and I'll think, you got a good voice, right? And you know that. Whereas it's in your own head. So no matter how many times you do it, it's just getting you over it. It's not actually, your voice doesn't change. You're just getting used to it. So that's one. The second one is nobody remembers bad content, because the algorithm punishes you for making bad content. It is what it is. It'll show people the good content. Everyone's going to see that. And it'll bury the content it doesn't think is very good. So this is why in your first whole bunch of videos, until you have max reach, your first few videos, you're literally talking basically just for yourself. You're doing it for yourself, because it's not going to show a million people something that's terrible. It's going to bury it, because it doesn't think people are watching. So it's not even going to show that many people if your content is bad. And one of the tips that I thought was really helpful, I think it was the owner of ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson, was saying that when you're recording a podcast, your first, like, people always want to feel really important. Like, oh, I need to make it like really good. And it's got to be about this, because everyone's gonna be listening. And he was like, your first, 50 or 100 episodes are not even for anyone. Like, it's actually quite selfish to think that they're going to be for people. They're actually for you to sit down, to find your voice, to think what you want to talk about. So it's kind of like similar in your reels. Like, your reels right now might not be for the person you want them to be for, because they might not see it yet. It might just be literally for you to get better and find your feet and do all that. So take the pressure off with a lot of this stuff, and do it for you. So don't delay this stuff. Like, do it for you, and obviously do it for the person that you want to see as well. Third one is, you're not talking to everyone. And this is a big one, especially if we have a niche or we have someone we're wanting to help, is that you're not talking to, like, your coach, right? You're not talking to the other coaches out there that are making content or whatever. Like, you guys are talking to your ideal client who is struggling with some kind of problem. That's all. And that will change how you speak and what you think about. Because if you have the person in mind you really want to hear this, you're going to explain it very different. When I used to make videos for like, I would imagine maybe a 17 or 15-year-old kid watching my YouTube videos, and I would explain things very different than if I imagined like, oh, some like 30-year-old coach is going to watch this. Like, then I'd be really scared. Whereas when I imagine the person in mind, I would be compassionate, empathetic, and I really would want to help. So I think that's a big one that's helped me, is like, think about maybe one of your clients now, right? Maybe one of your clients now, when they were at their lowest before they found you and the help that they needed, uh, think of that person before you deliver your message. Don't think about me watching it. Don't think about anyone here watching it. Think about that person who really, really needs the help more than anything, and then do it. And you will do so much of a better job, and you'll connect and you'll teach and you'll be comfortable and you'll enjoy doing it too, because you'll feel like you're doing something meaningful, which you are. And the last question is like, do you guys have a choice? Like, I think everyone here knows that we need to create content and we need to get good at this to be successful in this niche. Like, we have to. So the reality is you actually don't have a choice. But I think a lot of people make it feel like we have a choice, because they'll go, oh, I might not do 2 reels this week. I might just do like a post, or I'll do a carousel of this because I don't really need to do that. I'm going to wait. It's like, you don't have a choice whether you're going to get good at this or not. I mean, that is your choice, right? But you don't have a choice whether this is important. If this is important to you, which it is because you're here, you have to get good at this. So the way I see it is just eliminate the choice and go, this is something that I have to do. So I have to put in the reps and I have to try and willingly get better, because there is no other option. You don't want to, if you don't get better at this, you're going to fall behind. And you guys are already here now. So I know you're a million steps further than everyone else, because I've seen people try and then fall off because they think, oh, I might not do this now. So you don't have a choice. Just do it and just put the reps in. And remember, like, the rule of 50, where your first 50 videos, or even it could be more with reels, right? Because like it's less time on camera, but your first 50 or 100 or whatever, it's okay for them to be pretty bad. That's fine. All right. Your post next week doesn't have to be amazing. It has to be maybe better than last week's in some aspect. Maybe your tone, how you speak, the delivery, something has to be improved upon, but not everything. It doesn't have to be the end result. It doesn't have to be polished. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're allowed to be, you have to be bad at some point, right? So we just want to get better. So I don't want you guys to try and aim for perfection. I just want you guys to try and aim for getting your stuff a little bit better every week.